us to talk to youth out there, whether employed or unemployed, but youth who are in church. There is a general misperception from many youth who think that salvation cancels work. They think when you get saved, well, my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. Yes. They think now it's worse in this generation where there are so many pastors and churches and what prophets, apostles coming up, and many of them are preaching maybe the right message but being interpreted wrongly. For example, our generation now believes more in miracle money, miracle food, miracle wife, miracle marriage, miracle car. And so our youth are not being taught on how to look at work as a part of the mandate of salvation. How do you think we can bridge this gap? Can I start with Gift?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I understand that perspective. First of all, the youth who are outside, they're also in the church, you need to understand what is livelihood.
Yeah.
You need to understand what is livelihood. Livelihood, if you take at the contemporary life, is actually a means of securing the necessities of your life.
Yeah.
A means of securing the necessities of your life.
Yes.
Man has got some basic needs. They say there are 5 basic needs of man when you are in primary.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good that we have a teacher
Food,
here, a primary teacher.
shelter, water,
Education, medication.
Education, medication.
Exactly.
These days, there's internet. Okay. Let's continue from there.
How will a church boy make sure that he eats food, he has shelter, he can take care of himself or herself medically,
Yes.
he can buy for himself clothing,
Yes.
Even he can afford paying school fees.
Yes.
He needs to understand the means he can use to afford these necessities for himself.
Yes.
When you talk about necessities, God has gifted us with so many things. For example, those who stay near lakes and rivers,
Yes.
their livelihood is from the river and the lakes. They do fishing.
Yeah.
There are those whom God has given with the skills, practical skills. That's where they get their livelihood from. It means you have to use what God has given to you in abundance to see to that you must sustain your life. First of all, take example by yourself. God has given a skill, you're an IT guy. How do you use that to sustain yourself? So you'll find that in most cases, we the church boys, once we're in the church, we tend to forget that we need to work.
Yeah.
So that we get things for ourselves. We look at the church as other people giving something for us. You see that?
Eh?
We tend to look at the church as other people giving something for us so that we can survive being the church. You'll find that in most cases, there are those who are born again. We thank them for their faith.
Yes.
But that faith cannot sometimes give you food on the table. Remember, God does not reward laziness. God rewards hard work.
Yeah.
You use your hands, you use your mind, you use your eyes, your ears to work hard so that you sustain yourself. You'll discover that, as I said, the church boys need to understand that much as in the church, they need to do something for themselves outside the church.
Yes.
Think outside the box.
Yes.
Look at our contemporary world. What can you do that can make you get some money to buy for self-clothing? You'll discover that everything starts from home.
Yes.
You'll find that how you are brought up sometimes in a family matters a lot. If you're always brought together by your parents, do something for yourself, do something for yourself. There are some parents too who are very lazy, and our children can also follow their footsteps.
That's right.
There are some parents who think that everything is from God.
So you just
follow
sleep.
that, you sleep. Eh? There are some parents who think that once their children in the church, it is very hard to bring them to work, which is not the right thing. I've seen born agains who have become excited.
Yes.
Early in the morning, you find the always in the church. But they forget that time frame they have taken to be in the church, if they have used satisfactorily at doing their own work, won't they do something better for themselves?
That's right.
Yeah.
Let us continue from that point of someone getting saved and gets very excited and now wants to sleep in church. And then sooner than later, they start feeling hungry and they start thinking, okay. So, Lucy, what do you have to say? We're talking about bridging the gap between youth and work, especially the born-again youth and work. Many who think now they can pray and they will get money, they can pray and the car will land from wherever. Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. I want to say that when I recall my O-level CRA, God himself is a worker. And because God worked, he was able to create me, and that is work.
Yeah.
And create you as well, and the rest of the things that God has created. So in that case, I want to say that I am saying this in bold and underlined that be a girl, a boy, go and find something to do. Do work.
Yeah.
So that you can, even in your salvation, even in that church, so that you can be able to take offertory and give.
Yeah.
So now if today I sleep at church because I am a born again, tomorrow I sleep there, time will come when we will need what? When we will need maybe pastor is sick, or even among yourselves who are there excitedly, you're there, yes, I'm born again, fine. You're sleeping in church, you're doing all that you could. Just within church, but nobody thinks of something that is entrepreneurship related, so that you can earn some money to even sustain that sleeping that you're there. Like already my brother said, you know, you sleep, yes, it's okay, but little did you know that you will also have hunger at the end of it all. You will need even water to sip. Where will you get it from? Are you going to fast the rest of your life that now you're born again? Are totally dry fasting? No, it won't work. So I want to say that.
And I think also it is not fasting to just declare fasting for 1 week because you actually don't have
what to
food.
eat. Sure. Honestly, there are those that are there. And I want to connect with something my brother said, that the church boy should find something to do, because in most cases, church boys and girls, we think by being in church, the church should give for me. The church should get whatever they have and give it to me. In many cases, we find that, I want to relate this to marriages that we take to the churches. You find somebody brings you a budget of 5 million and it is blank and tells you, church, provide it for me. And we want
form a wedding committee.
A wedding committee, yes. And you find, we thank God for some churches, they're very good. Indeed, they do that for their youth, they do that for their church members. But there are those churches that are in the rural centers. Somebody has only a garden of cassava, another has a garden of beans, another has a garden of what. But that money cannot, those things, the person cannot sell all in order to support your what? Your wedding or your marriage. So that means it calls for you to think, like somebody said, outside the box. If you tried, I want to say, like, by the time we all went to school, I'm sure all of us have been asked questions by, if not your parents, at least a relative. What do you want to become after school? So it is like nowadays when we get saved, many of us have forgotten what we had thought about, what we want to become. Okay, like what we told somebody we want to become after school. Somebody said, I want to become a lawyer, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be this, I want to be a pastor. Yes. So now, why have you left the profession that you dreamt about? Actually, your dream profession. Now, because you were born again, you feel, no, let me just remain here and I forget that. We all have got reasons why we went to school. and we had our dream professions and jobs that would, offices that we feel we would want to work in. So why don't we work towards that? So if that failed, for example, to be very honest, for me, I never thought I would become a teacher because my dream profession was to become a lawyer. But what happened along the way, things didn't work out. So now that I am a teacher, I don't have to say, okay, because I missed being a lawyer, now let me sit down and fold my hands. So I went to teaching. And given the COVID-19 situation now, I can't be now holding a red pen and a blue pen or a piece of chalk and I start going from home to home and teach. No, because gatherings are not allowed. So what do? I have to find another. So I felt like I stepped out from what? From the teaching. Now that it has been closed, fine, I had to step out. I will call that step out number 1. So in case they totally say no, like this where we cook food and so on are also closed, then my head has to think of another thing so that I can have step out party 2.
That's right.
So that at the end of it all, yes, I have a child. My child might fall sick. I need to sort out the medical bills and my relatives as well. And apart from that, myself as a woman, I also have some personal effects that I need to sort out. I cannot call my brothers or my father and tell him, please, may I have a tube of toothpaste? Honestly, no, it can't work like that.